York City. Here we are. A lot happened here. Some would say it was a pretty productive time of my life. I had 2 children, several different businesses, including my restaurant. I opened at 23. Like a dumbass. Don't do that. My first arrest, the first time I killed a guy. And yeah, this was also before drug-induced brain injuries were recognized and iatrogenic illnesses, things like that. Yeah, so I moved here as a young adult thinking, you know, everything I carried, all the programming with me, trying to find my own way, finding out that that way wasn't actually mine. Yeah, this is also where I reconnected with my uncle who had written a bunch of books, and reading one of them convinced me of the absurdity of taking pills. Although I still didn't understand what I do now. You know, this was 20 years ago, but it did at least get me thinking in the right direction. It's also what else happened here. So married to the mob and woken up to 19 no-knock warrants all at once. What else happened here? Yeah. The Mormons, aren't they great? Wow, so I think I'll turn here. This restaurant here, I worked here and was engaged to the owner. I did not know how. Okay, I'll just say this. My programming was very deep, and so I learned, you know, don't ask questions, and so I didn't, and so I was the perfect little trophy wife. Yeah, it's Coachman's right here, Dinner and Pancake House. It'll be right on the right when we turn left here. I guess we'll just do a little tour, why not? But yeah, so what was really cool here is, you know, they're Greek, and so my family's Greek. In fact, when they immigrated from Greece, they opened the first restaurant in the foothills here. I guess that's like 13th or 17th, I don't know, Sugar House area, east. And also where I sold cars, that used to be their farm, and it was taken, eminent domain. They built a school down the block, but yeah, weird family history and stuff here too. Right, that's the restaurant right there on the right. Very good, let's turn in, see what happens. Used to go to work here, and I also ran one of my baking businesses. It was super busy. Coffee shop type stuff, but homemade, like good shit, you know, and Greeks know how to feed you. So it's probably 50 or maybe even 60 years old now. Good. I don't know what it's like these days, but I do know he's still here because last time I drove through, I stopped by just to see. And he was. Everything is still, everything else is exactly the same, so yeah, you know what, let's go this way because, yeah, I couple houses I lived in are over here. So this is also where my daughter was raped and sodomized. My other was kidnapped, which I went and recovered. That was in Oregon, by the way, and I was on crutches, so that was a fun one. Wow. I used to go over there and get my nails. Oh, I don't want to move the camera because it'll be all messed up. But right to the left in that little strip mall, if you saw, and we turned right there to the left of that yellow building. But oh my gosh. Yeah, when I believed in all that. And so that was my life, you know, modeling, acting. Or it wasn't really my life, it was what I was always groomed and pushed towards. And so here, you know, I was young and whatever, there was actually quite a market here. Which I ended up on WBAM morning show, Monday through Friday, 5:30 to 8 a.m. I know, I was up at that ungodly hour. I know, ridiculous. And some other stuff, you know, but I knew I didn't want to really be on camera. I wanted to be behind the camera. And in fact, when a camera position opened up at WB, I asked if I could do that. And they said yes. So I'm like, okay, cool, that's great. So, yeah, the camera was always a desire, but okay, I'm gonna go. I always loved these cute little brick houses. They all have their own personality and porches and basements and just, you know, I thought I liked the neighborhoods here. So the house I'm going to be driving through in a minute. This is a great story. I don't know if I should share everything, but we bought this house, you know, contract, owner, this, that, and then when my man, when I found out he was a mob boss and like all these other big words, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, what do I do? So there I am. He's on, like, his parents put up the $1 million or whatever bond or whatever, so he was on house arrest and had to, you know, he was on daddy's orders or whatever, so I would drop by the restaurant and give the money, and I assumed he was making the payments until one day I found out that that in fact didn't happen. By the way, last time I drove by here, the house was painted black. Oh my god, the flower beds. I mean, I have no idea what the back and stuff looks like, but the front, it was crazy. Not my pretty little flower house. But yeah, so then I basically found out when a dude knocked on my door, hi, I can help save your house, it's in foreclosure. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so anyways, make a long story short, it did go to auction like 3 days later, and guess who bought it? Haha. Yeah, so anyways, it's whatever. I left, you know, start a new life again, trying to do things the right way according to my mommy or my family, right? Went back to San Diego to have family and start again. Started a different baking business down there and blah, blah, blah. I talked about all that and my other trauma healing journey things, but a little bit of snow, but the roads have been good. So this, we're about a full block or more. I'll turn it to the right because that's where I lived when I left. Oh cool, there's traffic too, so we'll get to go real slow. I had cool neighbors, but yeah, lots of, well, one side was cool, the other side was but yeah, look at these cute little doll houses. And then these are just, okay, let's see. Alright, not the one with the flag, not the one next to it, oh my god, but it's was freaking painted black. Oh my god. Cray. So yeah, that was that. And then I'm gonna turn down here and go by where I lived a couple places next to the park, and this was across the street. And this is actually where my children, where all of that happened. Yeah, and talk about trauma. I may have brought this up before, but like the dude that, you know, raped and sodomized my daughter, teenage dude, he was the son of the person I was paying to babysit my children on Sundays, because we're in Utah and you can't have daycare or things like that open on Sunday. She was a cop, and he was fucking all the judges, as we found out later when 3 had to recuse themselves. But yeah, so that was in the house we'll be coming up to here soon. It was cool living by the park. They drove circles on Sunday in the little ponds to go in the paddle boats and, you know, bird aviary, things like that, which, you know, Salt Lake has great parks. But yeah, so then my daughter, who was raped and sodomized, like, she knew it hurt, but I was a bitch because I wasn't letting the rapist around anymore. Yeah. Mommy's so mean, I want my friend. Wait a minute. Yeah, because they were friends, you know, it was just terrible. Yeah, also where my woofie was killed, the neighbor decided to let him out, and then I'm sitting on the floor doing laundry, and then I hear, you know, in a vehicle, and a ow, ow, ow. So that was woofie. So here we are. Liberty Park is to the right, and it's huge. Huge, huge, huge. And then I lived in that house with the brick front. Yeah, we passed it. Porch. If you, I don't know if you got a glimpse of it, but yeah, wow. Here's a little. I'll give you the short tour. I don't know if I'm going to go through the whole raw everything about everything, but I might. So I guess right now I'll just head to my old restaurant I opened when I was 23, like an idiot. Or maybe, yeah. So yeah, no, I was 23 for sure. And I was pregnant. And yeah, cute little deli cafe. I have no idea what it is today, but next to the laundromat up in the avenues here. So by the way, that's still Liberty Park on the right to us, all the way up to this corner, and then it's just as long going the other way. Yeah, so trying to navigate all this stuff, and, you know, based on our programmed MK Ultra upbringing, you know, isn't easy. We were all 22, 23 before. My mom had moved here, so she still kind of had a, oh dang it, you know, a leash on me, so to speak. So still, if I didn't behave, or if I, you know, whatever, didn't comply with her requests, then she still used the same old, you're crazy thing, I better call the police for your own good, and have your hog tied, and have your door beaten, and all of this shit. And again, like I said before, this was before people knew about drug-induced brain damage, okay? So there was nowhere to turn. I'm just going through this thinking I was put on this earth just to suffer and die, you know. Meanwhile, I'm having strokes and seizures, and the doctors have no answers, keep putting me on more and more and more drugs. Yeah, dude, there were times, State Street, we were just driving down, I would sideswipe all those cars, broad daylight, like, you know, rip off all their damn rear view mirrors. Yeah, I had to wear diapers. Yeah. I didn't know I had to go to the bathroom until after my legs were wet. Yeah, I know kidney damage, dude, which I still, by the way, you know, it's normal for me to get up 10 times in a night. And people don't like road trips with me because I have to pee all the time, but you know what? Screw you. I'm a survivor. And yeah, so I remember when I was going through all this, the restaurant was right next to the hospital that I had both of my children. And then there's, you know, 2 other hospitals here, University, LDS, and Regional. And I was pretty much like hospital hopping because I was tired of never getting answers and just giving more drugs. And it was like they want to turn you into an addict and always giving you painkillers. And dude, it was bullshit. And even though I didn't know what right was, I knew enough to know that that was bullshit. And I couldn't just keep doing that. Like, I wanted to know what was actually going wrong. I didn't want your fucking drugs. They weren't helping me. I didn't know what I know now about them, or that they were really damaging me. I just thought I was born damaged and the drugs were supposed to help, but I was just kind of tired of them, you know? Like, I still wanted answers. Yeah, in fact, when I had this restaurant, the damage and other things I had were so bad that I was literally stuck, bent in an L-shaped position. And because I was by the hospital, I had a lot of doctors that came in or ordered lunches to go, and we delivered too, but this one particular doctor came in all the time, and he's like, you know, he'd always check on me and like, dude, if you're still like this next time I come in here, I am walking you into the hospital. Because he keeps saying, go to the hospital. I'm like, dude, I keep going. They just keep trying to frickin' give me drugs. And so he's like, all right, I'm walking you in if you're like this next time I see you. And of course, next time he came in, I was still like that, probably worse. And he walked me in the back door. Long story short, I ended up in emergency surgery where they had to call a liver specialist in the middle of it, and dude, everything was fucked up. Basically, the doctor, he crumbled up paper from his prescription pad, a few papers into a ball, and said, this is what your organs were like, and we had to cut out all your scar tissue and put everything back where they were supposed to be, and blah, blah, blah. So, that was cool. In this restaurant is also, I mentioned I opened when I was pregnant, like a dumbass, by the way. Don't ever open a restaurant alone, number 1. And number 2, don't ever open a fucking restaurant while you're pregnant. And definitely don't do that alone while pregnant. And just don't do it, okay? But it was great. I got to, you know, immerse myself in my workaholic tendencies to avoid, you know, figuring out or trying to even what was going on. And of course, you know, my good old mommy still to guide me and tell me what's right and, you know, try to convince me I need drugs instead of nurturing my gifts that I was allowed to have if they benefited other people. You know, I wasn't allowed to have them any other time. It was, they're not gifts, they're mental illness. Yeah, and I get into that in other videos. I'm just giving you a tour of my old hometown. Yeah, there was a gym I used to go to over here too, and this was also when I figured out, dude, if I walked here, I wouldn't have to frickin' drive and pay money to walk into this building after I find underground parking and like all this dumb stuff. But my life was, you know, pretty much, I hated myself like most everybody else, although I wasn't totally aware of how deep it was, but yeah. It didn't take much of an adjustment to figure that out, but my life was around looking good or what other people would think, you know, the hair, the nails, the clothes, oh, the wardrobe, dude, oh yeah, I had it. There's everything, dude. People loved it when I'm like, come over to my house, because I'd send them home with, you know, nice expensive, crazy, ridiculous designer shit. But yeah, in fact, yeah, never mind. Yeah. So it was definitely pretty materially based. I mean, this is how ridiculous it was. When we were looking to buy this house, like, we actually looked at a 10,000 square foot house. We got 2 of them. In fact, one of them is on this block right up here to the right, West Temple, which I'm not gonna turn there right now because the restaurant's just right up here. But yeah, I thought things like that were normal. 50 pairs of shoes, normal. Yeah, but it was also here again where I realized, oh my god, all those hours I spent in the mirror, if I spent half of the time on myself. Yeah, lots of growth here, definitely, but growth is definitely never ending. So here we go, East Street, 4th and E. Oh, sorry, I said West Temple, this is South Temple. They're southwest, north, you know, they go around the temple, and then all the streets are based off of that, 100, 200, 300, etc. Except for this part, in the avenues, where you have the avenues, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then you have the letters, A, B, C, D, E, you know, and so on. And so this is E Street. 4th and E, so 2nd right here. These are all the beautiful Victorian homes and college area, teacher area, politician area. In fact, the Capitol isn't that far from here. Oh wow, this is crazy. What's it gonna be like? Alright, it's right up here on the left at this next corner. I'm gonna turn at the laundromat. If it's still here, should be this tall building. Oh wow, it's a market. Wow. Let's see. Yep, there's a little parking area. What is it? What is it? What is it? It'd be a great place for a market. But, wow. What? Oh my gosh. And a Tibet Cafe Shambhala. Wow, dude, that is too much. This is my place. Wow. And dude, somebody on Facebook had a dream about me recently in a Tibetan, or Thai, sorry, I fucked that up. Oh well, same thing, they both have T's. But anyways, wow, should we see what it looks like? Well, shit, I hit the button and turned it off, but this is it, wow. Wow. And so these are apartments up there, and that's where the dude killed himself. Yeah, so my apartment was right there. It was a storage unit that I turned into an apartment. So it says intentions. Wow, look at all the cool names and stuff that's here. Yeah, so that door where it says no smoking, that's the entrance to the apartment. So it was the hallway storage area. Oh wow, it looks like they closed the wall in because there was a hallway right there where you see the fire hydrant. And then under the stairs was all storage, and then that part was my apartment, built a shower and blah blah blah. I don't know, this is crazy. Oh well, here, I'll say hi. Yeah, I'm still wearing my pajamas ever since I left. Actually, the night before when I showered to get ready. But well, you know what? Alright, I don't know when it died, but I just pulled out. And so yeah, the avenues, love the avenues. I always love the Victorian style. Yeah, so anyways, I told you I had my baby there, and my husband, who had left, disappeared. He actually lived right here in that building, so a half a block away, and refused to have anything to do with her. Yeah. I'm trying to prop the phone up on an oyster shell with a little rubber mat. Oh man, this place. I wish I remembered all the streets exactly, but one of the chicks that worked for me, her mom was one of the cat women back in the day, and they lived right up here. I lived up here for a short period too, but yeah, gorgeous. Like all the old like mansions are converted into a bunch of different apartments and stuff, which, you know, that's cool. I prefer my own yard and space and stuff, and it was actually Utah where I started my first real gardening. Not a ton, just a small area, like tomato, cucumbers, zucchini, peppers, some herbs, like the normal stuff. It wasn't until Utah where Branson, where I went all garden nut addict. Oh wow, so I'm just gonna keep going up because it's like sunset time and it seems like there might be a pretty sky. It just might be, especially if we could look to the left and see the Great Salt Lake. Oh wait, is this Gravity Canyon, dude? Oh my god, I found it. This is awesome. Yeah, so there's a bunch of traffic here, but at night we would go and yeah, let's see what happens. But you shouldn't have to hit the gas at all. But wow, I can't believe, oh cool. I just drove right through this. Amazing. Where it felt like you were going down here, but you were really going up, and vice versa. Wow. Alright, well that's pretty cool. There's a park down there, which is super cool. Did a bunch of photo shoots there in the winter. Somebody commented on one of my old photos. She's like, yeah, that looks legit. Evening gown. Freaking in a park, snow outside. Yeah, it seems legit. Sure was. Not. But yeah, again, you know, and you could see it in my eyes. I wasn't happy with any of that shit. I didn't like the being on camera. I didn't like always being like somebody that other people had to tell me what I was supposed to look like, and you know, I was supposed to meet their approval, which, you know, and being raised that way, you know, there was no like self-love or self-admiration. Everything was full on criticized. Even at those ungodly weights. Oh, you'd be perfect if you just had liposuction and a nose job, or oh, just 10 more pounds. I mean, there is a point where I was 102 at 6 feet tall. Here's the Capitol building. So this is a popular walk. I don't want to zoom in because I don't want to mess up the thing anymore, but this is where I had both of my babies. me. My daddy abandoned me, these, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like I mentioned before, these triggers, when people trigger us, they're to open those wounds so that we can heal them. And so I wasn't there. I didn't know that. I just knew that every dude would always abandon me, period. And that's how it was. So it wasn't until my 30s when I started realizing the trauma and the patterns, and that only I could grab a hold of that. I mean, endless counseling sessions or pills, or, you know, that wasn't working, you know. Being around other people that did that, that wasn't working. Yep, so there's the Capitol building. The tree is right blocking the, okay, go ahead. Look, you can see, well, I don't know if you will, but when we turn to the right, if you see a little body of water under the mountain range and pink sky, it's the lake. Yeah, that's the tour for now. I'm out.